Hello and welcome to the Anime Menace Wormhole. We apologize for the delay of things, unexpected plans last week, and then went and saw a movie as well. Saw the new Studio Ghibli film, The Boy and the Heron. But we are back with a Wormhole tonight. I'm joined with the Pervy man himself, Pervy Sage,
It's good.
and we're also here with the head of the Jaegerist, Tacco.
Howdy doody.
And tonight we're going to be talking some One Piece. Um, We are not going to be going past Impel Down due to the fact that Taco is currently on the Impel Down arc.
Okay. We can go a little further than that. I
You're
do
at
know what
Brainford.
happens. I know what happens already.
All right. So we'll do everything pre-time skip then.
Yeah, so I know what happens with Marineford.
So let's start this off with the very first arc, Romance Dawn. This is the first 4 episodes. And what I can actually do is I can actually make this a little smaller and bring up a little chart I have. Well, it's more
That
like a tier.
happened 84 years ago.
It's more like a tier ranker. It's a tiers listing. But let's get this screen capture. Boom. All right, there we go. We got it. And then I'm going to share it with y'all so y'all can see it. There we go. All right, so we have first arc is Romance Dawn, and this is the first 4 episodes. So it's our introduction to Luffy in his battle against Alvida. It is the Shellstown arc, which is episodes 2 and 3, where we meet Zoro, fight Helmeppo and Captain Morgan, and then episode 4, which is the Shanks flashback for Luffy. So what
It
are
happened
some?
so long ago.
What did y'all think of the opening of the series?
That was the best way to introduce Luffy. Him popping out of the barrel like that.
And bobbing
That's
out of the
always
barrel.
the first thing I think of.
What did you think of the villains of this first arc?
At first, I was
Captain
like, whatever.
Alvida and Captain
I was like,
Morgan.
I was like, for Alvida, I was like, I got nothing.
What about for Morgan?
Yeah, I was kind of the same thing. I was like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into right now.
What about you, Sage? How did you feel about Alvida and Morgan?
Velveeta, as I like to call her, Velveeta the cheese. Um, I wasn't the biggest fan of her until later down the series, but
Which we'll get to that when we get to that.
yeah. Um, Captain Morgan was definitely on the better side between the two villains.
Between the, I 100% would agree with that. What did you think of Zoro's introduction?
It's quite solid. Having them pretty much set up for execution, and Luffy rolls in like, "Nah, you're joining my crew."
How did you feel when he ate the rice ball that Rika made for him? Even after it was stomped into the ground by Helmeppo.
I mean, it just kind of. Just whenever I was watching, I was like, "Oh, he hasn't eaten in like days. This man is absolutely starving."
I think they were at 23 days, I believe.
Yeah, without eating a single drop of food.
So out of the rankings that are on here, we have Peak Fiction, S, A, B, C, D, and then just no. Like, this arc should never have existed. Where would y'all put Romance Dawn?
I feel like it deserves B because since it was the start off.
B. Okay, what about you, Sage?
I'd definitely say like B or A.
B.
'Cause it's a pretty solid start.
Mm-hmm. And as the
So
One
I can have
Piece
intro.
expert of the podcast, that's exactly where I would put it. Would be B. So no complaints with how you guys took Romance Dawn. Next up, we have Orange Town. This is episodes 4 through 9. This is where we get our actual introduction of Nami to where she's no longer just girl, she's actually Nami. Our villain this arc is Buggy the Clown.
That's the goat right there.
What are some of your thoughts on the Orangetown arc?
Buggy. Buggy made that arc for me.
Buggy,
Personally.
At first, I was like, okay, Buggy's cool. The live action definitely does him more justice for this arc because it makes him more like heinous and despicable. But Buggy was a top tier. How did you feel about Zoro? So there's 2 arcs back to back where Zoro is hindered a lot, but he still has to take on a tough opponent. How do you feel that's going to play out for future arcs?
I mean, going off Wano, it played out pretty well for him.
Choo Choo. What do you think about Choo Choo? The dog.
Why am I blanking?
The dog.
The dog?
Yeah.
Oh, top tier.
Top
Arguably
tier.
best character in all of One Piece.
The dog was great. Choo Choo was amazing. Protect his treasure to the end. One little bit that's not too important just yet. It won't be until we get to Arlong Park. But when it came to Nami touching Luffy's straw hat and Luffy getting mad at her, saying, "Don't touch my treasure."
Yeah, I remember that.
What were your thoughts on that reaction?
I kind of expected it because of how the
Okay.
show started off with the whole Shanks flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah, and
And
just
how much he guarded it.
to any other anime only for One Piece, the manga actually starts off with that flashback. That's the very first chapter.
Yeah, Luffy being as guarded as he was of the hat made a lot of sense off the start.
Mm-hmm. So what were your thoughts on Buggy, Sage?
Love him, and I still love him to this day. Anytime I see him pop up in the show, it's just like, hey, look, it's Buggy!
Hey, once you get fully caught up to the most recent episodes, you're gonna love him even more.
I just think it's funny with what happened. I think it's after Marineford or something, after a time skip, what happens with him.
Warlord.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think he weaseled his way? You think he weaseled his way into warlord status? Wait till you see what happens to him after that.
Oh, I can't fucking wait.
We need Warlord Buggy.
Oh, it's worse. It's better than
I
warlord
didn't know
buddy.
that. I need Warlord Buggy.
I think you first see him as a warlord. I believe
I love Buggy.
it's post Dressrosa.
Okay.
But we get something even better for Buggy later on. And then again, so it already happened in the anime for the later on one. And then again in some of the 4 chapters ago in the manga, something even better with Buggy.
Don't tell me he becomes an emperor. Take that as a yes.
I don't know what you're talking about. But
That is peak.
where would y'all put Orangetown on this ranking?
Simply for Buggy, A.
All right, what about you, Sage?
I don't know about A or B.
All right. I also have it in my A tier. So y'all are on the same mindset as me right now. That's great. Next up, probably the second most forgettable arc in the entire series. We have Syrup Village. I do not exactly remember what episodes Syrup Village is. Give me a second. One Piece. Syrup Village is episode 10 through 18. And then we get a little more Romance Dawn in episode 19 with Zoro's flashback. So episode 10 through 19 is Syrup Village. This is where we meet Django, or Mr. Michael Jackson of One Piece. It's where we also meet Usopp and the most forgettable villain in all of One Piece, Kuro, the Black Cat. So to start things off, what did y'all think about Kuro?
They made him look way better than what he was. My personal opinion.
Okay. What about you, Sage?
I think the villain was the villain was like they made the Black Cat like seem like he's gonna be like this big bad motherfucker. Next thing you know, he's more of a like little. Yeah, like it was cool to see. Like he had this whole grand heist, and then
Kuro, 1,000 plans.
Yes. And
at the end, he became pretty lackluster.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's done. Luffy hit him once and he's gone.
Basically. With a move we have not seen since, Gum Gum Bell.
You're right, I completely forgot about that move.
There's a lot. So Oda has specifically said that he has had to go into the wiki, the fan-made wiki, for moves. Because he forgets the moves that he makes.
I mean, that is fair, since Luffy's character seems like it's just Gum Gum and then whatever he is planning on mimicking.
Yep.
Like Gum Gum Hammer.
That's a one-off.
Yeah, Battle Axe, etc.
Battle Axe repeats a couple times. The ones that do the most, at least pre-time skip, is pistol, rifle, bazooka, and rocket.
Gatling.
And Gatling.
He uses Gatling a ton.
Yeah, those are the ones he uses the most. And then of course the jet versions for gear 2nd and the elephant versions for gear 3rd.
Yes.
Post time skip is where we get more into different names, because for his normal Gum Gum pistol is completely different in his gear 4th. So it's called a completely different name. And then gear 5th, it's just Luffy doesn't even know what to name them.
No, Luffy's too busy laughing, going monkey monkey.
Well, in 1072, he actually has a moment where he's sitting there floating down and he's just pondering like, now what to call it? Gum Gum, I don't know what to call it. He's literally pondering for like a full minute of what to call the move.
That's the most Luffy thing I've ever heard in my life.
Zoro got hindered again in this arc by Oil Slick.
And getting lost.
Funny enough, this is the first instance that Zoro shows bad sense of direction.
It's the first of many.
Because in Romance Dawn, he actually knows the way. When he's tied up on the post and Luffy starts going out the gate, and Zoro's like, "You're going the wrong way, you dumbass." It's like, wait, Zoro knows the way?
It's
It's one of the very few times.
It's the only time.
Oh, remember that one time he got to the ship back to the ship first?
That was because of Perona.
But he was there first.
You can give him credit for that.
No, because that was because Mihawk just wanted to be rid of him. And Perona literally guided him.
But he went on for like 5 episodes claiming he was first. So he was first.
So where would y'all put the Syrup Village arc?
We got introduced to my least favorite Straw Hat in this one.
It's better than what you put on your top 16 character. I can agree. I can understand him being your least favorite.
Well, I think he'll always be my least favorite. But I had to put that on the top 16 thing just for Tony.
Just for some context for people here, he put Usopp under his characters that should not have existed. Man, what would the Mary do without Usopp?
They'd have the Thousand Sunny.
No, because the Mary would have never gotten them the Water 7 if it wasn't for Usopp.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, the Clobbermon helped in Skypiea, but it would never have made it to Water 7 without Usopp. But where are we placing Syrup Village?
I put it C.
C?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Sage?
Probably C or D range, honestly.
C or D?
Not personally because of Usopp, just personally
It
because
was,
of I think it's 3 kids.
Oh, the
3
vegetable
little kids.
pirates.
Yeah.
Onion, carrot, and
Usopp's
pepper.
Usopp's little gang.
Yeah.
And the quite lackluster.
C tier is not bad. I would have, on my ranking, I would have it on D tier. But this is for y'all too.
We could put it to D because the villain was so lackluster.
Villain-wise, it's the only villain that has not made a second appearance in the entire story.
When we understand why.
Well, it's funny because
got retired.
He's not the worst villain though.
That's true.
There's one that is way worse that has made several appearances. But next up, we have the Baratier arc. Now, this is the arc where I always tell people this is where it starts getting good. So the Baratier,
Definitely starts getting good here.
The Baratier starts in episode 21 and goes all the way to episode 31. So episode 20 to episode 31 is the Baratier arc. This is where we get introduced to the warlords. We get all the names of the warlords in this arc. We get to see Mihawk versus Zoro. We get introduced to Sanji. We get introduced to the legend himself, Redfoot Zeph. And another, probably the third worst villain in all of One Piece, Dong Krieg. So what were some of your initial... This is also where Nami betrays the crew.
Yeah, that's at like the very end of it.
That is before the Mihawk Zoro fight.
Yeah, you're right.
So I believe that is...
Sorry, it's been so long.
It's like episode 24.
It's been so long.
So what are some initial thoughts on this arc for y'all?
I love this arc because we got introduced to Sanji. And Sanji's one of my favorites.
The way you like Sanji more than Zoro.
Sanji makes me laugh way more, okay?
Oh, just wait. Time skip Sanji is going to be so annoying.
Like, I was watching Thriller Bark, and after they lose all their shadows, and they tell Sanji what happens to Nami, and he just like lights himself on fire and jumps off a cliff.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Oh. But this probably has the best, I would say the best fight of the entire East Blue saga. With Zoro versus Mihawk.
I'd agree with that.
What were some of your thoughts on it, Sage?
It's definitely one. I like the first starter arcs. Besides the first introduction to Luffy is definitely a lot more escalated, a lot more stuff going on. Yep. You got first meeting Sanji, the Marine showing up, then I believe you get Sanji's background.
So you have the Lieutenant full body stuff. I'm actually surprised you brought that up. So yeah, we have the Lieutenant full body stuff, and then we go into Mihawk showing up, and then right before Luffy fights Don Krieg, we get Sanji's backstory.
Very good backstory, in my opinion.
Very good. At this point in the story, it was the saddest, but the next arc then destroys it. And then we get the Luffy versus Don Krieg fight, and then the speech that Zeph gives to Sanji about watch Luffy, because no matter what's going on, like Luffy's at a disadvantage because piercing attacks are stronger against Luffy. Luffy doesn't give up his determination. So Zeph's telling him to pay attention to that, pay attention to the grit, because Sanji's wondering why does he have so much determination and grit. So with that said, where would you two place this arc?
Personally, I've put this up towards like A and S.
A and S? Tacco?
I'd second A.
A. Okay. Above or below
Just-
Orangetown?
That's tough. You know what? I'll put it above, just because you get the fight with Mihawk and Zoro and the introduction to Sanji.
Yeah. So this is where you guys start to deter from me. This is for me. This is a peak fiction arc.
This is very fair.
But next up, we have Arlong Park, which goes from episode 32.
That's right to peak fiction.
Episode 32 all the way to episode 45. So we get Arlong, we get Nami's backstory, we get the tearful moment of help me, and Nami's realization of he put his treasure on my head, he actually cares for me. The rest of the Fishman pirates, and of course Genzo and Bellamy are being amazing people. And Luffy's first bounty of 30 million belly. So
Such a good arc.
What were y'all thoughts on it?
It's a fantastic arc.
It's definitely the best arc
It's
the first saga.
Yeah, it blows anything that One Piece has done beforehand out of the damn water.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. What about you, Tacco?
I am on the same boat as him right now. That was the arc. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to continue watching this.
And that's
as soon as I got the Arlong.
And I don't know if y'all remember it. Every time I say watch One Piece, but trudge through it until you hit episode 31. Because, I mean, 31 is a split between Baratie and Arlong. But Arlong Park is the arc where you will know for a fact if One Piece is the show for you.
Say, Arlong Park was so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I think that was like the first perfect arc.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Like, the villain was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, all the lead up was perfect.
And Arlong is still prevalent in the story.
I actually didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so where you're at Impel Down, Arlong is in Impel Down. He's in level 5.
Yeah, so they haven't shown him yet.
They don't. It's a cover story in the manga.
Okay. So, yeah, they haven't shown him.
Because in the cover story, after this part in the manga, while we're going to Log Town, we get Arlong's short little cover story where it shows him being taken the Impel Down. And he does actually... I can't remember if he's broken out of Impel Down because of the Impel Down arc.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say I'm
So
surprised
this
you
is
didn't bring him back for Fishman.
This is the second time he's been in Impel Down. You'll figure that out in Fishman Island, Tacco, but Sage should know because he was part of Fisher Tiger's pirates. He ended up being taken Impelled Down after that group disbanded. And then when Jinbei became a warlord, he was released.
Yep. I honestly thought they were going to bring him back during Fishman.
Okay, so he's still in Impel Down.
So at the moment, yeah, but I know what happens up until. Actually, I know up to the entire backstory between Luffy, Ace, and Sabo.
Okay, so you know post Marineford.
Yeah, the last thing I saw when Sage was watching it was the speech that Garp was given. I always forget her name.
The Dawn.
Yeah, the speech that the Dawn gives Garp. That was the very last thing I saw. So I don't know if
That
it was the end,
hurts.
if that was the end of whatever was going on with Marineford. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
the last thing I saw.
that speech hurts because it shows how much the Dawn truly cared for them.
Yep,
But I think we all can agree Arlong Park goes in peak fiction.
110%.
Next up, we
No
have
argument about that.
Logtown, which is episode 48 through episode 53. This is where we get Alvida in her new form with the slip fruit. We get the return of Buggy. And we get Zoro meeting Tashigi and getting his new blades, the Yubashiri and the Sandai Katetsu. And we also, for you guys, the Usopp versus Daddy the Parent, the gun showdown, and the fiery cooking battle that Sanji takes part in is actually filler. That is not in the manga. And then we also have the moment where we have Luffy versus Smoker. And Dragon's first appearance. So what did you guys think of this arc?
I don't think you get told about that being Dragon until like what?
You don't learn
right
that,
after Water.
You don't learn that's Dragon until post Water 7.
That's what I thought. When Garp goes, yeah, you met your dad, and Luffy's like, I have a dad.
Yeah, I figured he would have said something to you at Logtown.
Yeah. Oh, it's a.
But
bring him back, Buggy.
This moment though, where Dragon shows up, is where all the theories start on Dragon's Devil Fruit. Because the rain and the lightning came in when Dragon showed up.
That's fair. So yeah, when Buggy's gonna execute Luffy.
Yeah. So, any major thoughts on this arc?
I introduced one of the best Marines.
Smoker. The White Chaser.
Mm-hmm. Such a good character, in my opinion.
He's not bad. We actually did. They have this out of order. So the Buggy's Crew Adventure, which is episode 46 and 47, we actually skipped over. This is the filler arc where Buggy goes to. Well, it's not really filler. It was a cover series in the manga. But it's where Buggy goes to Gaimon's Island. If you guys even remember that. That was from episode 18.
So long ago, but it's fuzzy in my memory and it's coming back.
Yeah, it's Buggy's in his stumpy form. He doesn't have the rest of his body yet.
Yeah.
It's before he meets up with Alvida, who ends up having his body.
Anything with Buggy is peak fiction.
I don't think I can agree with that. It was definitely one of the one of the worst cover series. Where would y'all put Buggy's Crew Adventure?
Either D or just no.
What about you, Sage?
I'd have to give it a C.
C, so we'll put it in D in the middle. So I would put it in just no as well, though. If this was my tier list. Back to Logtown, though. Where would you guys put Logtown?
I'm probably gonna have to go B or A.
What about you, Taco?
I'd say top of C.
So we got a B or A and top of C.
Now you hold all the power.
Well, it's not my tier.
It is now.
So I would say I would go with along the lines of B because it's kind of in between y'all.
That's fair.
Now, is it better or worse than Romance Dawn?
I'd say behind.
Behind.
Yeah, I'd probably say that too.
All right. Next, we have the Warship Island filler arc. This is episode 54 through episode 61. So this is the arc with the little girl and the mystical island and the 1,000-year siege and the 1,000-year-old Sea King.
Oh, I'm trying to think. So is that where the island where they built the warships for the Marines?
No, that's Water 7.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to remember.
We're still in the East Blue. This is still the East Blue saga.
Yeah. It's just been so. There's been so much. Um.
It was a filler arc.
Okay, now I'm starting to remember a little bit. I'm probably, on honesty, I'd probably put it like D or C.
D or C. What about you, Taco?
I can't remember much of it. Like, I'm completely blanked.
Just to know.
I'll go with D.
B.
I said D.
D. Okay. So it goes right with Buggy Crew Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, a lot of the filler arcs go into the just no because a lot of the filler arcs, like any arc in One Piece, is great arcs when compared to other series. Their fillers make a lot more sense because it's just another island on the way. But it does get kind of annoying. But next up, we have the smallest arc in One Piece, Reverse Mountain. This is episode 62 and 63 and the final arc of the East Blue saga. Now this is where they do the feet on the barrel and proclamate their dreams. Luffy to be king of the pirates, Zoro to be the best swordsman, Nami to chart a map of the world, Sanji to find the all blue, and Usopp to be a brave warrior of the sea. And this is also where we meet Laboon. What a great fellow
Goat
Laboon
right there.
is. So what are your thoughts on
What a guy.
this small arc?
Really good way to end off a like saga or part of like the East Blue, like ending off the East Blue,
Yeah.
moving on to what the Grand Line.
The Grand Line and the Alabasta saga.
I've always said this: One Piece knows how to end off sagas or major parts.
Yeah. You just figure the end of the Wano saga or the Wano arc is the new bounties and them departing the island.
This one, for ranking wise, I'm probably gonna have to put this at like probably like mid A.
Mid A. What about you, Taco?
Yeah.
We also meet a member of the Roger Pirates, Crocus. Forgot about that. Old man
caretaker.
Crocus.
Hey, he takes care of Laboon.
Yep.
Baboon's the goat.
He was a member of the Roger Pirates.
Laboon? Not kidding. I'd agree.
Group mid-A.
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right, next up is the first arc of the Alabasta saga, Whiskey Peak. This is episodes 64 through 67, and manga chapters 106 through 114. This is where we get our first introduction to Vivi as... What the hell was her name? I can't remember what her moniker was. We also meet
I think
Robin.
she was Wednesday or Sunday.
Miss Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have Ibarum. And then we also meet Miss All Sunday, or Nico Robin, in the final episode of this arc. And we also have the showdown, Zoro versus Baroque Works, where he takes on 100 people at once, and then they defeat Mr. 5 by Luffy and Zoro fighting against each other.
Only in One Piece.
Only in One Piece. So what were y'all thoughts on this arc? What was your first impressions of Vivi? And she wasn't originally going to be a princess. She was just going to be Miss Wednesday and nothing more. Oda did not have plans to make her a princess at first.
So, Whiskey Peak, it's not bad, but you get introduced to a lot of solid characters.
Yeah.
So I'd probably put this at like maybe middle B, lower B.
Okay. What about you, Tacco?
Somewhere in the middle.
I'd agree.
You're right in between.
With the introduction of Robin and stuff, yeah, I'd agree.
All right. Next up, we have another cover series. We have the Diary of Kobe Meppo, which that is actually what it is called in the manga. It is called the Diary of Kobe Meppo. But it is the Kobe and Helmeppo arc where they are training with Garp and Bogart. This is the cover pages of chapters 83 through 119. And it's episodes 68 and 69 of the anime. And it basically shows their training with Garp to become Marines. How did you feel revisiting Helmeppo and Kobe after 65 episodes?
I don't mind Kobe.
Kobe's
Kobe's
glow up is insane.
I don't mind Kobe, but I love Garp.
Garp is a top tier character.
I just look at
For
Garp.
sure.
Every time I see Garp, I just see old Luffy. It like cracks me
The
up.
funny thing is Oda actually drew all the Straw Hats on two different future timelines, a good future and an old future at the age of 40 and 60. And Luffy at 60 looks exactly like Garp in the good timeline.
That's incredible.
Which makes me believe like Dragon's not like his biological dad or something, because Dragon looks nothing like Garp.
That's incredible. Yeah, every time Garp's on screen, I was like, it's old Luffy. And on I think it was like the very end of Ennie's lobby when he shows up and they both fall asleep at the same time while he's in his hands.
The post Ennie's lobby arc.
I was like, it's perfect.
Choking him out.
Yeah, he's like strangling Luffy, but they both pass out.
What about you, Sage? Any thoughts on the Diary of Kobe Meppo?
It's a nice little catch up of what Colby's been doing in the Marines. You know, how he's been training. And this is your first introduction to Garp, ain't it?
Yes, in the anime, this is your first introduction to Garp. And in the manga, you see Garp in the cover series, of course, a little bit sooner. but this is the first introduction of Garp in the anime.
In my opinion, it was great. But
And Bogart, I can't wait to see what goes on with Bogart. Like, I want more Bogart. He was the one in the fedora.
Yeah, we'll probably get more of him soon. Maybe. Never know.
So where would y'all place this arc?
Honestly, just because Kobe hasn't had his glow up yet, probably upper C.
Upper C? What about you,
Yeah.
Tacco?
I'd agree.
Alright, next up we have Little Garden. This is episode 70 to 77, and it covers manga chapters 115 to 129. So this is where we get our first introduction to Crocodile as Mr. Zero. So where we get the moniker and the foreshadowing for Sanji with his pseudonym Mr. Prince. Sage knows about that now. We also get introduced to Galdino, Mr. 3. And this is also where Nami contracts her sickness. They need them to find a doctor. And we also meet two of the goats, Dory and Bragi, who recently made their return in the manga.
Ooh. I'm happy that they're coming back.
Oh, I hope you don't like Eustace Kid.
Oh, I've seen what currently what Kaido has done to him.
That's upsetting to hear.
No.
I like Kid.
What Kaido did, what happens to Kid post Wano makes what Kaido did to him look like nothing but a slap on the wrist.
Oh God.
That's sad to hear. I actually like Kid.
And all I'll say is there was a fellow redhead in the universe that did this.
Oh, so Shanks fucked this day up. Gotcha.
Fun fact, just so y'all know, because this was revealed in a question corner actually. Shanks wasn't the one that cut off Kid's arm.
What?
Ben Beckman did. Shanks' first mate.
Fair enough. Either way, he deserved it. If you have Shanks on your ass, you had to do something.
No, he didn't have Shanks on his ass. He pulled up the Shanks.
Even worse.
It's playing all along.
Dumbass.
So
see, I like the Kid, and then you said that. Now he deserved it. It's like, oh, Kid's kind of a badass. I like him. And you just go, I hope you didn't like Kid. I was like, well, shit. Oh, that's upsetting.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sending you a panel. This is Dory and Bragi. That's the Punk Victoria. Here's the full double page spread. I'll send it to you as well, Sage.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah. My!
On this day in the New World by Elbaf, the Kid Pirate crew led by Eustace Captain Kidd, a man worth 3 billion, was completely eradicated.
Jesus Christ! Oh, he had it coming.
Yeah, it's bad. But with that said, what were y'all's thoughts on Little Garden?
I'm gonna have to go with an upper B.
Upper B?
The lower A on this. You do get your introduction to Crocodile. You get introductions to Giants.
Yep. A new race. This is the third.
Yeah.
This if we go race count right now, this is 3 races. This is the third race to be introduced. We had humans, then fishmen, and now giants. Where would you put it, Tacco?
I would put it top of B.
Top of B?
Yeah, I like Crocodile.
All right. Next up, we have Drum Island, which covers episodes 78 to 91 and manga chapters 130 to 154. So this is where we get the introduction to Chopper, Dr. Hirolook, Dalton, Dr. Kureha, and it's also where Luffy's determination is shown on how much he wants to protect his friends with his climb up to the top of the peak, and the villain of the arc, Wapol. Another not great villain, but definitely better than a certain villain that's coming up, and Kuro and Don Krieg. So what were some of y'all's thoughts on this arc?
Oh, the arc overall, good. The villain, quite shit.
At least it was better than Kuro.
Yes.
And Don Krieg.
Yes. Yes. But the dude was just a complete asshole.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I love assholes, but, you know.
Compared to Smoker and Mihawk and Arlong and Buggy, not that great of a villain. Which, can we even say villain? Because technically the Straw Hats are villains too, because they're pirates.
Oh,
Are they?
I mean, he does create the Wapol pirates.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then
technically,
the send-off in the last episode with the cherry blossom explosions.
And Chopper literally in tears the entire time.
That's literally the part I always remember.
This has now become, this seals its spot as the second saddest backstory at this part, behind Nami's with Choppers.
Yep.
So where would y'all put this arc?
Just for my boy Cotton Candy loving Chopper, going S tier.
S tier. What about you, Taka?
That's, what is it? If this wants to pull up properly, I put it behind Orangetown.
Put it behind Orangetown.
Yeah.
All right. So taking the median from y'all's, it'll be right above Baratier then.
That's fair.
So
Strictly for Chopper, but that's fair.
This is the third one. Drum Island for me, I had down in like the C tier.
That's fair.
But next up, we have the canon finale of Alabasta, which is the Alabasta arc, episodes 92 to 130, and chapters 155 to 217. If y'all don't agree this is a peak fiction arc, I don't know what's wrong with you. We get Ace's introduction. We get the fighting dugongs. We get Luffy versus Crocodile. We get the introduction of the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Tu Bon Clay. We get Mr. One, Daz Bones. We get Robin joining the crew. We get a good fight for Nami. All around a beautiful arc. What are y'all's thoughts on it?
Bah, and I wish it was Zoro, but bah. Bon Clay is so funny.
Bon Clay is literally the man.
I love Bon Clay. He's so funny. Bon Clay and Luffy now have one of my favorite moments I've seen in One Piece, and I started dying.
Oh, Bon Clay also. This is how Bon Clay gets into Impel Down because he sacrifices himself so Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hats can escape as well.
I love Bon Clay. They crack me the hell up.
We get Smoker and Tashigi back.
Yep.
A lot went down in this arc.
I always remember the fist thing. Like when they all put their fists up. It's always like the one thing I remember.
The farewell.
It's like the one of the few things I always remember.
That is one of the most popular manga panels in all of manga.
Understandably so.
It is a beautiful arc. What are your thoughts on it, Sage?
This shit peak.
I take it you agree with him, Tacco?
Yeah.
And now we have the post Alabasta, which is a filler arc, and is episodes 131 to 135. So this is basically just them goofing off in Alabasta before officially setting out.
Yeah, you can toss that and just no.
Just no.
I'm kind of agreeing with you with the whole filler thing.
Yeah. When you look at it, wrong. When you look at it with all the other arcs, it's like, oh my god, they're so bad. But you look at the filler arcs compared to other anime, it's like, oh my god, this is so good.
Yeah. I'll give it that.
Next up, we have another filler arc. We have the Goat Island filler arc, which is episodes 136 to 138. So it's a 3-episode. And this is the one with the old man Zenny for the Zenny Pirates. The old man that wanted to be a pirate, but never got his chance to, and now looks over an island full of goats.
The one where you guys like treasure up on top of the mountain hill thing, and you can't get to it or something.
That was Gaimon.
Okay.
Yeah, that was part of technically. That was before. That was on. In between Romance Dawn and Orange Dawn, or after.
Oh.
Go back to East Blue. It was after Syrup Village, actually. It was episode 18.
Oh.
It was one episode. So, we don't talk about that one. But technically, anime-wise, Goat Island is the first arc of the Skypiea saga.
Oh, okay.
But of course, the canon first arc is Jaya.
Yeah, when they learn about it and all that.
Yeah. So where would y'all put Goat Island?
Probably just no.
Tacco?
Yeah, it's second.
All right.
I think it's safe to say, if you pull up almost all filler, you can probably put them all in just no.
Next up is, well, no, there's one filler arc that is peak fiction.
That's fair.
Which we will get to that shortly. Next up, we have Ruluka Island, another filler arc. It's episode 139 to 143. This is the Rainbow Mist arc. This is the one where they go into the mist and go back in time, basically.
For some reason, I'm blanking on this one.
They go into this rainbow mist where they find a graveyard of ships and a group of kids.
Oh.
When they come out of the mist, the group of kids were actually the Marines that were on that island.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bad one. This is definitely one of the better fillers, but it's not the best filler.
It's definitely one of the better fillers.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say toss that in like D.
like top of D.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Back to canon material, we have the Jaya arc, which is episodes 144 to 152, and manga chapters 218 to 236. This is where we meet Bellamy the hyena. This is where we first learn about Nolan the liar. And pretty much it. This is where we get the infamous one punch KO by Luffy against Bellamy, where he leaves an imprint of his fist. And we also get Luffy. We also get introduced to Blackbeard in this arc.
You get introduced to a lot of people.
Blackbeard gets introduced in this arc. Well, mainly Blackbeard and Bellamy. Those are the two main ones. And then we learn about Nolan from Nolan's descendant.
Yeah.
But then we have the parallel to Shanks and the Mountain Bandit in the 4th episode with Luffy and Zoro and Bellamy.
Yep, when Nami says don't fight, and Luffy goes, okay.
Well, no. Nami says don't make trouble. And then that happens, and Nami's like, why didn't you fight? And Luffy's the one that tells Zoro not to fight.
Okay. So I couldn't remember, because I don't know why I keep thinking Nami's the one that says don't fight, but don't make trouble is more of a,
Yeah.
makes more sense.
So what did y'all feel about this arc?
That was good.
Oh, Luffy's bounty is 100 million now.
Question. I could be losing it. It could be a whole different arc. Don't all the warlords have a meeting, or am I going crazy?
So that takes
I
place
could be going nuts.
in an arc.
Okay.
I don't think that has happened yet.
Okay. I can't remember. I just know like there was a meeting, everyone's there, and Mihawk like just shows up or something like that. That I remember.
Yeah, Dofi and Kuma are like the only two people that show up for it.
Yeah, and then Mihawk shows up.
And
That was kinda just
it
it.
shocks everybody.
Yeah. But I would give it.
I'm not sure what arc that takes place within.
I just know it happens.
Yeah, but it's where we get the first meeting of Bartholomew Kuma and Don Quixote do Flamingo.
That's your boy Dofi.
Yeah. One of the best villains in all of freaking One Piece.
I love Mihawk personally.
Mihawk's not bad,
I like Mihawk.
but you haven't met Dofi officially yet.
No, I have not met. I have not got my full introduction to Dofi yet. No, I have not.
Yeah, he'll become your favorite villain.
As I told you before, I'm long ways away.
Not as long as you think. You only have
300 odd some episodes.
you have basically 4 arcs, including filler.
So around that out of that, like 300 some episodes.
Well, let's see. When does Dressrosa start? Dressrosa starts
7 something.
6:30,
All right, so I'm a little under.
and it goes to 7:46.
I'm on 443, going on the 444 right now, so I'm a little under. Under 3. Not a ton, but a little. But I give it I give Giant A.
Give Giant A. What about you, Sage?
Simply for that punch.
I'd probably give it to like lower A, upper B for the simple fact you're getting introduced to Blackbeard, Bellamy,
We'll put
and
it.
give so many memorable moments.
We'll put it right above Orangetown to meet the median.
That works.
And this is actually higher than what I would have put it. I would have put it in C.
That's fair.
Next, we have Skypiea, which is episodes 153 to 195, and chapters 237 to 302 in the manga. This is where we get Eneru and Gonfall. And I believe those are the only real notable introductions. We meet 3 new races. We meet the Skypeans, which are the curved up-winged people with the antennas. We meet the Shandorans, which is the tribal-looking people. And then the Bjerkins, which is Eneru and his posse. We also meet the Kodalpermon, which is the mystical being that fixes the boat. And we have a message from Roger on the Golden Bell. So what did y'all think about this arc?
Personally, it's either A, peak, or S.
Yep. This also has Oda's favorite panel he ever drew, which was the dancing around the fire. Which is very important for End of Wano. Tacco already knows why.
You might have to DM me a refresher. As soon as you say probably one thing, I'll remember.
Drums of Liberation.
Okay, I remember. Okay.
Moke moke. Why am I trying to say it? We have this. But where would you put this arc, Tacco?
I guess I'll put it in S. I don't think I can give it peak, but I'll put it S.
All right, that's about where I would put it. I would put it between peak and S. Next, we have the best filler arc in all of anime. The G8 filler.
Is that when the boat falls out of the sky?
Yep. So in the manga, the boat falls out of the sky, basically right off the coast of Water 7. In the anime, they have it fall into a marine base, and it works perfectly.
Which is hilarious.
Yep. And this is episodes 196 to 206. This is where we meet Condoroyano. This arc needs to be made canon. It's that good of an arc. What did you guys think of this arc?
It's definitely, as you said, it's probably the best filler arc there is.
Yeah, Toei nailed it with this one.
They really did. And it's funny as hell whenever they first drop in, it's immediate. The boat's lit up with spotlights.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell it's already living on its last limb.
Yep, this arc also helps solidify that the Straw Hats need a new boat.
Yeah. So I'd probably have to put it in like upper C, maybe lower B.
Okay, what about you, Tacco?
Oh, it's the pigeons here.
Since it's being one of the best fillers, probably ever,
Yeah.
I'd give it either A or S. Because there's not many fillers that'd be like, yeah, I really want this canon.
No,
There's not many.
I'd say the only ones that can actually compete are a couple of the Bleach fillers.
Say there's not many.
Because the Fairy Tail fillers suck.
Oh, they're horrendous.
Naruto fillers are...
Don't get me started on Guy on that goddamn boat. That felt like... That literally felt like I watched the entirety of One Piece twice.
With a plot.
No. No, I did not.
I can't even think of other ones with fillers because a lot of them nowadays don't have filler.
No, a lot of shows cut them out, or they pull the good old here's an
Seasonal.
OVA after
Yeah.
the season's over, which what My Hero does, and I love that they do that.
Yeah. If I'm
But
looking
yeah,
at,
I go ARS.
and you said, what did you say, Sage?
I think it's a like upper C, lower B.
All right, so we'll put this at the top of B, which is actually right where I put it on my own list. Next, we have
That
the
is
most gut-wrenching, puke-inducing arc in all of One Piece that I thought was filler when I first watched it, and then found out it's a canon arc. Long Ring, Long Land is also the first arc of the Water 7 saga. It is episodes 207 to 219, and it is chapters 303 to 321.
I have one question before we go into deep dive of this.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's the introduction to Foxy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that goes to just now.
I no complaints on that one. The only
right,
redeeming
good.
quality of the arc, but it doesn't help it enough, is Afro Luffy.
Yes.
And the fact that it sets up a funny pun in Amazon Lily when Boa uses her Maramaro, her love fruit, for the first time on Luffy, and Luffy thinks it's the slow beam. It sets up that great joke, and it has Afro Luffy, but it's still not enough. I mean,
No,
Robin's speech to Chopper is not bad either. When Chopper gets taken to the other side, and Robin's speech to Chopper is very, very, or Zoro's speech, one of the two. I think they both say something to Chopper.
Yeah, and it has its moments, but it's not enough to recover.
No.
Especially when Luffy says again.
Next, we have the One Piece, the Ocean's Dream arc, which is a filler arc. It is episodes 220 to 224. I honestly don't even remember what this arc is about. I completely forgot this arc even existed. Do you guys remember anything about it?
Honestly, no.
Tacco?
I can't remember a thing from it.
Not in the slightest.
Alright, so that's just going to go in just no.
Yeah, saying I don't remember anything in the slightest of it.
Next is another filler arc, which was episodes 225 to 228. It is the Foxy's Return arc.
Yeah, that goes down with the whole arc with Foxy. Right into just no.
Here's the only issue that or the list I have that has the arc with the episode and chapter numbers. So Foxy's Return is 225 and 226, and part of the very beginning of 227, because the rest of 227 is the actual end of Long Ring Long Land with the introduction of a Marine Admiral. Do y'all remember what admiral that was?
I believe LKG.
Correct.
Let's go.
The Blue Pheasant Kuzan. But Foxy's Return, we all know where that's going.
Down the pits of hell.
Next up, we have the Water 7 arc, which was episodes 229 to 263, chapters 322 to chapter 374. This is where we get Frankie, Iceberg, Gali Law, the fight between Luffy and Usopp, the betrayal of Robin, the introduction of our first mermaid we've ever seen.
Oh, God.
And the introduction of CP9.
See, you mentioned the mermaid, and as soon as you mentioned her, my first thought was Sanji. You know, that's how much I like Sanji. He's like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Let the guy dream, damn it.
And we also get the introduction of the Battle Frog as well.
Yeah, this is peak.
Peak? What about you, Sage?
Yeah.
Definitely peak.
I could go so long talking about Water 7.
Water 7. I love the moment when Zoro's stuck in the chimney and Luffy's stuck between the two buildings. Uh,
The introduction of Polly. Polly was in. I love Polly.
Polly's great. The introduction to Rob Lucci. At this point, the best villain.
Yeah.
Like CP9, at this point in the story, CP9 are the best villains in the entire story.
Yeah, Lucci was such a good villain. Actually, all CP9 was, even though how annoying their laughs were.
I mean, his pigeon is amazing.
We don't talk about the pigeon.
Well, that's because you also listen to their dub laughs.
Either way, I would have gone nuts. Whether if I knew what English they were speaking or not, it would have been bad.
Oh, we also get the introduction of Soge King in this arc as well.
Yeah, no, we got Usopp a while ago.
No, Soge King is not Usopp. Both Oda and Sunny Straight have said Soge King is not Usopp.
When Usopp pulled out the mask, he's like, "Oh, here we go, I got this," and that's what he had to do in Thriller Bark. We all know it's Usopp.
Remember, Sniper Island is in your heart.
Yeah, even when Chopper goes, Usopp, why do you have that mask? No, that's perfect. We all know it's Usopp.
Even in the sub, it's two different voice actors in the sub.
Well, in the dub, it's the same guy.
But it's a different voice. Sunny Straight does a different voice.
It's the same guy. Okay, that's like saying when All Might has his quirk still, that it's two different people. It's the same guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same guy. We all know it's Toshinori.
Next arc is the Enies Lobby.
Completely ignored.
Next arc is the Enies Lobby arc, which goes from episode 264 to episode 312. There are a couple Luffy flashbacks in between there for filler reasons. And it is chapters 375 to 430. This is where we get the iconic I Want to Live moment. This is where we get Robin's flashback, which takes the crown as the saddest flashback in the story. We get the iconic stand against the world government and Soge King shooting down the flag. We get introduced to Spondum. And this is also where we get Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd. And also Rob Lucci versus Luffy.
Yup. And Chopper going nuts.
And Chopper going Monster Point, yeah. And Zoro going Ashura for the first time.
Yep.
So where is Enies Lobby going?
Peak.
Do you agree, Sage?
Peak. Yep, it's right up there with Water 7.
All right.
Peak.
Next up, we have the post-Enies Lobby arc, which is episodes 313 to 325. And manga chapters 431 to 441. This is where we get Garp's first manga canon non-cover page introduction. This is also where we get Kobe's glow up. We get Luffy's father revealed. And we also get the meeting of Shanks and Whitebeard in this as well.
See, they have their little square off.
And we got Ace versus Blackbeard.
No, I thought that happens after that.
Nope, it is the last episode.
So that's before Thriller Bark?
I believe so.
I thought it went on during Thriller Bark. Like, as Luffy's getting ready to leave Thriller Bark, that happens.
Let me look at the Thriller Bark stuff.
Because I know they mentioned the Viver cards and stuff. I'm pretty sure that happens at the end of Thriller Bark.
Nope.
To my memory. No?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's the very last episode of Enies Lobby.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I knew it was right around there. I couldn't remember.
Or post Enies Lobby, I should say. But we got all that. We got Frankie officially joining the crew, and we get the Thousand Sunny. We get the Going Mary's funeral and the Thousand Sunny first set off.
And Sanji's new famous salt.
Yep. Yeah. That that is actually filler.
I know it is. And Sora being adopted.
Yep. And everyone has a bounty now.
Even Chopper, his whole $50.
50 berry. So where does the post Enies Lobby arc go for y'all?
As much as I want to put it up in peak, I feel like it deserves like a top S.
Top S, Tacco?
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Right.
With the full introduction to Dragon, and then all the stuff with Garp and Frankie joining, and
Shanks versus Whitebeard.
that too.
Split in the damn sky.
Yeah.
Next we have
wait for Marineford.
Next we have the Thriller Bark Saga, starting with the Ice Hunter arc, which is a filler arc. It is episodes 326 to 335. So I don't remember much of this arc at all. This is
which one?
This is the one where the crew lets the Jolly Roger get stolen, and they try to get it back before Luffy returns to the ship.
Yeah. That's about all I remember.
And this is also where we get Chopper Man. So where would y'all put this arc?
Personally, I'm probably going to have to put this in a just no.
Just no. Tacco, do you agree?
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right. Which next is actually, they don't have it listed separately on here, but it's the last episode of the Ice one, and it's the Chopper Man arc.
Mm.
Just no as well?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right. Next we have Thriller Bark, episode 337 to 381, chapter 442 to 489. And I don't think there's much we need to talk about with this arc. We meet Gecko Moria, we meet Kuma, and nothing happened.
Exactly, nothing happened, so it goes down to just no. We get Brooke.
We get Brooke. We do get Brooke.
We get Brooke.
We meet Perona. We meet Absalom, the one who steals Sanji's devil, who has this devil fruit Sanji wanted. We meet,
Sanji was quite upset.
Yes. We meet Oars. We get Brooke's sad-ass backstory.
That was so sad. Is it sad? I felt so bad for
And
Laboon.
we have our first introduction to a former member of the Big Mom Pirates, one of the Yonko. Y'all don't remember who it is, do you?
I don't.
It's the
Is it the
It's the pink
Pinker.
It's the pink chick, Lola.
Yep.
I believe her name is.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. She is one of Big Mom's children.
Fair enough.
We also get the introduction and the backstory of the origin of Binks no Sake.
That song has been stuck in my head.
A song that
Okay.
Oda wrote.
That song was in my head for about a week and a half.
Yeah, Oda wrote that song.
Props to Oda.
if we read the English lyrics,
I love it when Ian Sinclair sings it.
so the English lyrics of Binks no Sake: gather up all the crew, it's time to ship out Binks brew. Sea wind blows to where, who knows, the waves will be our guide. Or across the ocean's tide, rays of sunshine far and wide. Birds they sing of cheerful things in circles passing by. Bid farewell to Weaver's town, say no long. Say so long to port renowned. Sing a song, it won't be long before we're casting off. Cross the gold and silver seas, the salty spray puts us at ease. Day and night to our delight, the voyage never ends. Pirates we, eternally challenging the sea, with the waves to rest our heads. Ship beneath us as our beds, hoisted high upon the mast our Jolly Roger flies. Somewhere in the endless sky, stormy winds are blowing by. Waves are dancing, evening comes, it's time to sound the drums.
Yeah.
What drums are they talking about?
The drums of liberation. Am I right?
Yes. So proud your feet and clap your hands till sunny day returns. What is Gear Fifth?
It's Joy Boy.
It's Nika, the sun god.
It's also Joy Boy.
No, Joy
I'm
Boy.
not that far.
Joy Boy was a user of the fruit back in.
Not that far, man.
Well, these are things you found out somehow, and I've confirmed for you.
I kind of forget sometimes. Okay.
So where is Thriller Bark hat being placed?
I put it at S simply because we get Brooke, we get the sad backstory, we get introduction.
Happened.
Nothing happens. The introduction to Kuma, which was awesome.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
formal
put it
introduction to Kuma.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in peak because I couldn't stand Gecko Moria personally.
Not wrong. I don't disagree with you at all.
I could not stand him.
What about you, Sage?
Me personally, I put it in peak only because I like the whole setting.
Yeah,
It
it
whole,
did have a
Quarter
lot of
Island.
funny moments too, with Luffy taming Luffy taming Cerberus, and then Luffy pushing a zombie back into its grave.
Okay, peak Thriller Bark was all comedy.
Yeah. But top of A is where it lies. Next arc is the final arc of the Thriller Bark saga, which is the Spa Island arc, which is a filler arc, episode 382 to 384.
And Foxy shows up, and it goes to just now.
Foxy does show up.
I was like, really? He's back? Really? I was like, do they love Foxy this much? I was like, why? Like, we don't need him anymore.
It's alright. Next up is probably one of the best full sagas in all of One Piece. We have the Summit War saga, which starts with the Sabaody Archipelago arc, episodes 385 to 405, chapters 490 to 513. This is the arc where Hachan makes his return. We get introduced to Duval.
Kid.
We get introduced to all the supernovas. We get introduced to Shaka, Rayleigh's wife. We also get introduced to Rayleigh.
Yep.
We get introduced to the pacifistas. We get introduced to Admiral Kizaru. And, of course, all the supernovas. Law, Kid, Beiji, Juribani, Apu, X-Drake, Rouge.
Capone.
Yeah, Beiji.
Uh,
He is inspired by Al Capone.
Obviously. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's supposed to be Al Capone.
We also get Luffy's first true defeat.
Yep.
But we also get the moment where Luffy... This is where we first meet the Celestial Dragons as well.
And Luffy punched the shit out of him.
Puts this man back into the manga.
That is one of my favorite Luffy moments.
Oh, even where I'm at, it's still one of my favorite Luffy moments.
Yeah, him punching the hell out of that Celestial Dragon was top tier.
Figure we never would have met Kizaru or the Pacifistas or Senjomaru, who controls the Pacifistas, if it was not for that punch.
True. I kind of regret what I said off the start of Sabaody. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this arc, because it was started so slow. And then
with Hachan and the mermaid.
I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this arc. I was like, I hope it picks up. I hope it picks up.
Yeah.
Boy, did it.
And freaking Duval, who was a perfect match to the drawing of Sanji.
That was hilarious.
And since you finished Amazon Lily, Shaka, Rayleigh's wife, was the Empress of Amazon Lily 2 generations ago.
That's cool.
She is 63 years old. And then Granny Neon is 3 generations back. We do not know the previous generation before Boa. There's theories that it's Luffy's mom.
Ooh.
And that's why Luffy was sent to Sabaody by Kuma. That's the biggest
That
theory
would
right now.
be crazy.
Because slight spoilers for the manga, we got Kuma's backstory, and all the islands that Kuma sent the Straw Hats to, Kuma visited in the past. So he knew what islands they needed to go to get stronger.
I called it.
So
I was watching it and they got sent. I look right at Sage. I'm like, he did this on purpose.
what did you
He's like,
think?
I don't know.
What did you think when they were
I was
first
like, he
disappearing?
did this on purpose.
What did you think when they were first disappearing? Did you think they were like if you knew
No,
if you knew there wasn't 600 episodes after that, what would you have thought?
Initial thought, then yeah, I thought they died, but obviously knowing what I know, they don't.
Yeah.
Like if I went into it like blind and not knew, like just watched it, didn't talk to anyone about it, then I'm like, oh my god, they all died.
Luffy must have built a new crew.
Yeah, like damn, Luffy really was scrapping for people. He's really going to go chase down Buggy.
But yeah, so it explains in that part of the backstory for Kuma, it explains all of their locations except for Luffy's. Luffy's is the only one that has no, like, why did Luffy go to Amazon Lily?
That makes so much sense, and I can't believe I called that.
But where would y'all put Amazon Lily?
First, we're going to rank Sabaody.
Oh, yeah. We're on Sabaody. Oh, one more fact about Sabaody. This is where we get Roger's redesign. And we are back. Apologies for that. My computer crashed. It seems if we go like over an hour, it likes to crash for some reason. I don't know why. But we were on Sabaody Archipelago.
Yes.
Where were y'all ranking that?
That goes straight to peak with everything that happened with the Straw Hat.
And we're losing Tacco. Sage, what's going on?
I guess his phone or devices. I don't know what happened.
Sage,
It's peak.
Sage, do you agree with peak?
Yeah, with everything that happens with Luffy admitting that they're too weak to win this fight, to forfeit this fight, they'll come back and get it when they're stronger.
Yeah.
Which takes a little bit.
Next is Amazon Lily. It is episodes 408 to 417 and manga chapters 514 to 524. So this is where we get the introduction of the queen herself, Miss Boa Hancock. And is where we find out that Ace is going to be executed. So what did y'all think about Amazon Lily?
I enjoyed it. I really like Boa.
Boa's queen.
Like it. I don't know how I was gonna feel about Boa. Like, I didn't really pay too much attention when Sage watched it. I kind of stopped paying attention after Sabaody kind of happened. I saw like bits and pieces. I remember him showing me Luffy punching the hell out of a celestial dragon and everything else, and then I tailed off. But what Luffy does for the people, for like Margaret and everything else, it's pretty clutch. Plus Boa being as good as a character that Boa is, it's very good.
Yeah, the way Boa just falls in love with Luffy too.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
So where would y'all put Amazon Lily?
I'd give it to A.
A. What about you, Sage?
I give it a low S tier for the sole reason of Luffy and Boa's relationship.
So where would you rank it then?
I'm gonna give it lower C, or not C, S.
Lower S. So put it right
Yeah.
at the top of A then.
Scrapping it. You said C.
We're putting a B for Boa.
B for Boa. Nice.
They don't have it on here, so I'm gonna include it in this East Blue filler, the little East Blue filler arc. But it's the Straw Hat Separation, which was a sporadic episodes. It showed where all of them were going, and it was the cover pages of chapters 543 to 560. It basically showed them arriving at each of their locations. It was sporadic episodes in between Impel Down and Little East Blue, so we'll just do it with Little East Blue. What did you think of that? Because I know Little East Blue is just going to be a just no, so we'll use this as the Straw Hat Separation.
They needed to go where they, as you said before we got interrupted by tech difficulties.
I don't know why it does that.
It is what it is. You know what you mean. But now knowing that Kuma picked those places on purpose makes so much more sense. And I still can't believe I called that.
Where would you rank those episodes that show their like beginnings of their training, basically?
Put it in B.
B. Sage.
I'd give it probably upper B, honestly.
Upper B. All right, next is Impel Down, which is episodes 422 to 425, and then 430 to 452. Manga chapters 525 to 549. So Impel Down, we get Buggy's reintroduction. We get Magellan. We get Bon Clay returning. We get the queen herself, Emporio Ivankov. With
the Crocodile.
And Jinbei.
Jinbei's official introduction. We get Blackbeard.
Blackbeard.
And we get Bon Clay's sacrifice.
But I wish it was Zoro, but that part fucking killed me. When he shows up as Zoro. Luffy gets so happy. He was like, oh, wait, that's Bond. This is like peak. I just got done, technically, meeting Ivankov. Like, Ace just got transferred.
So you're on level 5.5 then.
Yeah, Ace just got transferred. And I'm trying to remember else. I don't know why I'm blanking on it. I literally just watched it again.
This is where Luffy suffers his second loss. Because he didn't get there in time.
Yes. Yeah, he knows he didn't get there. And that's what he says. He's going to break out.
And he has that huge loss against Magellan as well.
Yeah, the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Ivankov puts him through the hormone thing, and he's like screaming for like Or was it like 20 hours?
And Bon Clay is a G for staying
Goat
with
moment for Bon Clay.
You can do it, Luffy. You can get through this.
That was a goat moment for Bon Clay, I won't lie.
It was great. It was amazing. Where would y'all rank it?
Peak.
Peak? Sage?
Definitely peak.
Alright. And next to last one that we're going to be, well, we could go up until where Sage was, where Sage is. If that's okay with Tacco.
I don't care.
Alright. But next up we have Marineford, which is episodes 457 to 489 and chapters 550 to 587.
There's so much to talk about for Marineford.
I think it's another one that's like Alabasta, where it's just like no need to talk. This is just peak.
Yeah, that's like top of peak because Marineford can leave you just speechless.
It literally.
It just leaves you speechless. Everything they
it
have
leaves you like Luffy.
Exactly, speechless or lifeless.
So yeah, top of peak.
100%.
Next up, we have the post-war arc, which is episode 490, 491, and then 493 through 516, and it's chapters 581 to 597. So this is the Luffy Sabo Ace. This is where we get Sabo's introduction. This is their flashback with the Great Terminal incident, where Sabo dies, and we also get more training from the rest of the Straw Hats, and Luffy starting his training on Amazon Lily. Well, not Amazon Lily. That's kind of like their base of operations. But the island that they go to in the Calm Belt, where Rayleigh trains Luffy in the matters of hockey. What was y'all's thoughts on that?
The backstory with Luffy, Sabo, and Ace, that alone for me was like damn near peak.
Okay. What about you, Sage?
Yeah, I'd probably have to toss it up there in peak. Just because of that's probably it's one of the best backstories I believe out of the entire show so far that I've
You
watched.
haven't hit the backstory in Whole Cake yet, have you?
No,
Okay.
I'm technically just now starting on Whole Cake.
Yeah. So that one was like the best backstory and the saddest backstory, but Kuma's actually passed it up.
Oh, that's fair.
Next up, we have the start of post time skip. It's been 2 years. We have the New World Saga, which, I mean, it's with other sagas inside of the saga. But we have the Fishman Island Saga, with the first arc being Return to Sabaody, episodes 517 to 522, chapters 598 to chapter 602. When the Straw Hats all reconvene after 2 years, we have the fake Straw Hats, Zoro being there first. And that's pretty much the whole arc.
It's definitely a nice coming back, getting everybody back together, or like nice little. And then, to be fair, I would say the whole fake Straw Hats. It's clever, but it's also like I wasn't the biggest fan about.
No, it was awful. Chopper's stupidity in this arc.
Oh, it really shows.
It really ticked me off.
Chopper's stupidity is peak.
Like, this arc and Fishman Island arc are literally just to show how much stronger the Straw Hats got during the time skip. That's literally all this arc is. All these 2 arcs are for. So where would y'all place them? Oh, where would y'all place Return to Sabaody, I should say.
A.
A, okay. Sage.
I'd probably put it like probably B.
All right. So I'll put it at the bottom of A, below Orange Town. Next one up is Fishman Island, which is episodes 523 to 541, 543 to 574. And it is chapter 603 to 653. This is where we get introduced to all of Fishman Island, which was a long-awaited on arc. We meet Princess Otahime, which is voiced by Emily. We meet King Neptune, Shirahoshi, and her three brothers. And the villain of this arc is Hordy Jones. It's a play on Davy Jones.
Very clever.
And this is also where we get the premonition from, I believe Charlotte is her name.
Sounds right.
About Luffy destroying Fishman Island. We also get Luffy defeating 50,000 men with one burst of Conqueror's Haki. So where would y'all put this arc?
Personally, I'm an NA because I haven't seen this.
Oh, yeah, so Sage, where would you put this arc?
I'd probably put Fishman at like top of A.
Top of A, really?
Yeah.
Above Amazon Lily, Baratier,
That
Drum.
shocks me.
Wow,
Main reason?
This is a
'Cause you're
D arc
seeing-
for me.
In my opinion, it's the first like major arc that you're seeing that actually use their new strengths.
Yeah, not wrong. Next up, we have Punk Hazard, which is the first arc of the Dressrosa saga. It is episodes 579 to 589 and 591 to 625. And his manga chapters 654 to 699. This is where the arcs start getting longer. So, before that, we actually have Z's Ambition, which is 575 to 578. It's basically an introduction for the movie One Piece film Z. What did you think about that, Sage?
Oh, we're on Punk Hazard, right?
The Z's Ambition filler.
Oh, okay.
The lead into the movie.
I never watched the movie, but the filler going into it, I'd probably toss it a no.
No? Alright. Now we're at Punk Hazard. We get Caesar, we get the Return of Law, Smoker's back. We get the hilarious comedy of Law switching everybody up to where Nami is Frankie, Frankie is Chopper, and Robin literally tells Frankie, "Do not smile while in Chopper's body, you disgusting fiend."
Yep.
We also get the introduction of Virgo. And we get a true introduction of Doflamingo. And we get introduced to Baby 5, the one that turns into weapons. And Bumblebeard. He's the half crocodile dude. And the Yeti brothers.
Yeah.
So where would
That
you
is a-
place this arc?
Personally, gonna have to toss Punk Hazard probably down C. Ya.
See?
Yeah. Like as much as I want to put it like higher of Law, everything that like Luffy and Law's alliance starts there.
Mm-hmm.
All that it really wants me to put it up a little bit higher, but overall it just hurts to watch it sometimes.
Next
Like I
up,
don't know, it feels slow.
next up is the Caesar Retrieval arc, which is a filler arc. It is episodes 626 to 628. They basically lose Caesar and they have to get him back.
Okay, we can toss that down. No.
All right. Next is the first big boy of the series, the first over 100 chapter arc, Dressrosa, going from 629 to 746 in the episodes, and for chapters 700 to 801. So we get Dofi, we get King Recold, we get the Tontadas, we get the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, we get Gear 4th, we get Sabo, we get Bellamy's Redemption, we get Treble, we get Bartolomeo, we get Usopp's God Moment, and we get another Admiral with Admiral Fujitora. We get Law's depressing backstory. There's a lot that we get. We get the introduction. We get another samurai introduced. I forgot to mention that for Punk Hazard. We got Kinemon and Momonosuke introduced. But we get Kanzuro introduced in this arc. We get to meet Koala in her adult form. Same Koala from Fisher Tiger's backstory.
Oh, shit. Don't forget about Bartolomeo.
I did mention Bartolomeo. And
I didn't hear you say.
We get more on Kaido. We get more information on Kaido in this arc as well. So where would you put this arc?
I'd probably toss Dressrosa up there at peak. Overall, it's a really good arc with so much that happens.
Yeah.
You also get to see the birdcage.
Yeah, birdcage. That shit's terrifying.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the first, and that's the last arc of the Dressrosa saga. Now we get into the whole Cake saga, with the first arc being a filler arc, the Silver Mine arc, episodes 747 to 750. It's basically like a post Dressrosa, basically, is what it is.
Personally, Silvermine's gonna have to go down to like D.
D.
Yeah.
Alright, next up we have Zoe, episode 751 to 779, chapter 802 to 824. We meet the Minks. We get more information on Dragon. We meet Inuarashi and Nekamamushi, or Dogstorm and Cat Viper. We meet Carrot. Sanji disappears the whole cake to get married. And we get the first little bit of... Actually, I don't have it. We get the first little bit of Reverie with episode 777 and episode 778 is the beginning of the Reverie arc, which comes a little later. The full arc comes a little later. We also get introduced to one of the three calamities of the Beast Pirates, Jack the Drought. And we have the probably most iconic panel of all of One Piece. Raizo is safe. Which is this beautiful double page spread. Raizo is alive and well after Jack leaves. And we get introduced to Zunisha. So what would you put this one at, Sage?
So I'm probably gonna have to toss up at S.
S?
Yeah. It's the most recent one I've finished.
Well,
yeah.
Technically the next one is the most recent.
Oh, okay.
It's a filler arc. It's the Marine Rookie arc, episode 780 to 782.
Okay. This wasn't a bad filler though.
I honestly don't remember it.
It's not bad. It's the guy kind of looks like Luffy, but he has a red mohawk.
Yeah, I see him on the
Go on.
thumbnail of the episode,
Oh.
but I don't remember him for the life of me.
It's kind of minute. They're kind of just they pretty much plan a GTI heist to go steal food from a marine base.
Gotcha. And they infiltrated by pretending to be Marines.
Yes.
All right.
Now you could figure out how well that worked for Luffy.
Yeah. Where would you put that one?
I'd have to put it in like C. It's definitely not a bad filler arc at all. Bless you.
The Dragon Ball Toriko One Piece crossovers. I know you've both seen some of those. You guys haven't seen the full story of them because Toriko actually has the rest of the story. I mentioned to these guys before, the first episode of Toriko is the episode 492 crossover of One Piece. Mm-hmm. So it goes Toriko episode 1 and then One Piece 492, and that's the full crossover. But what did you think of the crossover episodes?
I thought it was hilarious.
It was fucking great.
They are amazing.
Best crossover since Jimmy Timmy Power Hour.
Where would you put the crossover episodes?
S.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Getting Luffy and Goku and everybody else all in the same room is kind of doesn't happen very often.
The last one we're gonna mention briefly, Whole Cake Island. You just started it. It's episode 783 to 877, and it's chapter 825 to 902. Where do you think this arc is going to end up, Sage?
Since we're dealing with Sanji, I feel like it's going to be a pretty solid one. So I'm going to go with I'm going to hope for an upper S.
Upper S?
Yeah.
All right. And for the rest of these, we have the Reverie arc, which is episode 878 to 889, and chapters 903 to 908, which I would put in S.
That's fair.
The Wano arc, which is episode 890 to 1087. It is almost 200 episodes.
That's a big boy.
And it is chapter 9.
Well deserving.
It is chapter 909 to 1057. This is a peak fiction arc. Then we have Uta's.
Yeah.
We have the Uta's Past, which is retconning Luffy's backstory from episode 4 and episode 1029 and 1030. And that one, I put that in A tier because the movie was beautiful. And then Egghead, which does not its first anime episode actually just came out, or actually comes out in 4 minutes. Comes out in 4 minutes. And it is chapter 1058 to 1101 is the newest chapter, and that is also a peak fiction. So that
really comes out in 4 minutes. I thought it dropped in January.
Yeah, I told you in text form that they will be landing on Egghead on that episode.
Oh, okay. I
But
couldn't
the
remember.
arc-
I heard something about it,
Yeah.
like it.
Technically, 2 weeks ago was the first episode
Okay.
because the Wano arc ends when they leave Wano. After the bounties and stuff. Technically, chapter 1054 is the final chapter of Wano. But that is these guys. That is us talking about their thoughts on One Piece and them ranking the arcs that they've seen so far. Whenever y'all get caught up, we will probably do this again. I suspect some of your rankings are probably going to change.
Good possibility. What's your honest opinions on how we ranked them today?
Honestly, so your S tier, your peak fiction, I wouldn't have Dressrosa there. I would have Dressrosa in S.
I will say that's surprising since Dofi's like your number one character of One Piece.
It's because of the pacing.
That's fair. Say it is very slow to start.
Yeah. But other than that, your peak fiction's great. Your S tier, Thriller Bark, I would not have there. Post Enies Lobby, I would have in peak fiction. Skypiea, I would also have in peak fiction. Thriller Bark, I would have in A tier. But the rest of your S, Whole Cake, Zoe, the crossover, I agree with those ones. Coming down to your A tier, I said Thriller Bark would be down there. Fishman would be down in D. Amazon Lily would be in S. Reverse Mountain would be in C. Jaya would be in C. And Return to Sabaody would be in D. For your B tier, G8 would be an S. And from C down, I have no qualms with what you have in them.
That's fair.
But I hope y'all enjoyed. We will be off next week due to it being next Sunday being Christmas Eve. We will be no Wormhole. Unfortunately, it's a break week this week for My Hero and One Piece chapters. And next week,
Yes, sir.
there's a chapter next week on Christmas Eve. So unfortunately, we'll not have videos next week at all, of course. But unfortunately, we won't have a chapter reaction until after the new year. So Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all those holidays. But we will see y'all tomorrow for Tacco's top 16 characters.
Oh boy.
Any closing words that you guys have?
Oh, there it goes. I got stuck. I was watching the stream and it like ended. I was like, I lost all audio of everything.
What?
No, I don't think I have anything.
All right. Any closing words, Sage?
Adios and happy holidays.
Anything you're looking forward? Anything either of you are looking forward to on your journey with Luffy?
More Shanks. Honestly, one thing
Shanks.
I've been hoping to see kind of is Luffy and Shanks duke it out once, like later down the line.
It's hard to say later down the line because we're in the final saga.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
that would be a cool, like, just like a friendly dueling like Whitebeard and Shanks
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, just pretty much sparring, but with a little bit more aggravation. Just not really out to kill each other, but
I will
say
say
who's the strongest.
we do get a lot of Shanks in Egghead.
oh,
So once you catch up, it's going to be good.
See, I cannot wait for Wano at the moment. But obviously, then when Egghead starts coming out, I said, all right, can't wait to get there now.
Anything you're looking forward to on your adventure with Luffy, Tacco?
Yeah, I can't wait to witness him go through all the gears. I can't wait.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Dressrosa, or oh wait, no, you didn't get there yet, so I can't mention it because that's Whole Cake.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know about Gear 4 and all that in Gear 5. Yeah, I know of them. Like, I know what Gear 4 looks like. I just haven't seen it.
So that's all for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for Tacco's top 16, and remember to stay humble and get rumbled. Check out all the links down in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube as well.
Monkey, monkey! Monkey!